Welcome back, Falcon Squadron. Today we're taking a look at a very special lightsaber. This is the Cal Kestis and Cere double-bladed lightsaber from NSabers. We're going to take a look at all the details, features, and the cost of this lightsaber, so let's do it. Let's go ahead and take a look at everything you're going to get in the box when you open it up. Inside you will have two hilts, your Cere hilt and your Cal Kestis hilt. And there are a couple different configurations you can get. As you can see, we went with the weathered version for the Cal Kestis. When you order the combo version that comes with both, the Cal will be a clean version, and you can choose between the Neopixel or Profi version. The Neopixel version will come in at $6.99 or $8.49 for the Profi. And don't forget to use our code FALCON at checkout to save 7% on top of your order. Now, if you want to go with the weathered version of the Cal Kestis, which I absolutely love, you'll have to order these two separate, which you can. So you'll order the weathered or bespoke version of the Cal Kestis and the Cere version, and you'll still get everything you need to link those two together. Inside the box, you'll also get some of your necessities, like your blade plugs to make sure those sabers stay nice and safe. You're going to get the adapter to link both of those hilts together, and I'll show you guys how to do that. You'll also get your two Neopixel blades, your Allen wrench and screws, and then this really cool leather wrap that can be used on just the Cere hilt or both hilts together, and I'll kind of show you guys how you can use that to make this display really beautiful. We're going to take a look at each one of these hilts separately, starting with our Cere hilt, and man, is this thing absolutely beautiful. I love it so much. The design details are very sleek, but you have a lot of neat features on it, especially around the emitter section where you have all these kind of like greebly almost attachments on here, this switch looking thing, buttons. It's really beautiful and the detail is amazing. And the emitter section is really beautiful on this as well. We do have a 2-button emitter on here. So this is your main button, and then you have your auxiliary button here, which is that little gold one. And tons of details. I love the copper ring, the kind of shiny rings in here, the black detailing around here. And what's really cool too is inside the emitter, you have this like indented section in here and actually have your screws kind of angled to insert your blade that way, which I've never seen on a hilt before. I really like it, and you actually have 4 screws in there, so it'll be very stable. On here, it's very just sleek and black, and it looks really nice as is, but if you guys remember, we got that leather wrap in here. So this is where you can place it, one of the 2 places you can. And what you can do is kind of wrap it around this emitter section in here. You can leave the silver parts exposed. We'll go ahead and wrap it around just so you can see how it would look when it's done. But once you get this attached, it's going to be really pretty, look very screen accurate, just like the games. And I think it adds a lot of detail to it. Of course, this isn't what it would look like when you do it correctly, but how good does that look? It would be really awesome. And you could even take a little strip and put it right here on this black part as well. But you could also choose to display it or play with it and use it exactly as is. And I actually think this matte black finish on it looks very beautiful. On the pommel side of the saber, I really love the kind of tiered effect on here where the rings go from larger to smaller and smaller. And then you also have a really nice like triangle D-ring if you want to hang it from your belt or anything like that. And what's really nice is it's pretty stiff, so if you have it on there, it's not going to be swinging around a ton. Now that we have the blade in, let's take a look at a few of the features that are going to be on the Profi version of the Cere Saber. You will have your gesture controls, so you can twist to ignite. You will have your flash on clash, your blaster effect with the auxiliary button, and your lockup effect. You will also be able to change character fonts by holding the saber up and pressing your auxiliary button.
Anakin. Tell me, is this training?
My training? No. Always training. The universe.
And then you'll have different blade colors and effects and sounds that way.
happens. You're not alone.
And of course you will have your color change. To access it, you will hold the auxiliary button and tap the power, and then you can just twist. And the one nice thing about the Profis is you can hit every color and shade in between. And when you get to the one that you want, we'll go ahead and stop here. You'll click that power button and it will set it onto that new color for you. Next up, we're going to take a look at one of my favorite lightsabers. This is the weathered Cal Kestis lightsaber, and I love this thing. You guys know I have been loving weathered lightsabers so much, and this one is absolutely stunning. If we get a closer look at it, the weathering is all over on this, similar to the Balin saber we took a look at, where it is just grungy and dirty and gorgeous. Let's start with the shroud emitter section at the front. So we have both of these shrouds here, which are really cool. And one of my favorites, because when the blade's in, you can just see part of that exposed blade with the lighting on there. If we kind of zoom in and take a look at some of the finer details on here, we have in the emitter section down here a lot of, I guess, circuit board kind of sections. And down here we have it on the other side as well with a couple exposed parts. Coming down again, this is a 2-button saber, so you have your main power and your auxiliary button right here. Coming down a little further, I love these kind of like windows. They're not quite emitter windows, you're not going to see light through them, but kind of a similar detail on there. A switch looking section. Down here in where you hold it in the handle area, you have a lot of like extra weathering in here that just looks like it's worn just from years of battle and holding onto it. While this is turned on, I accidentally did that. Let's take a look at some of the lighting features. If we come back up here to the emitter section, you can see in the screw areas some lights come out, and you'll see them through there, which I like. And down here in the pommel section, which we'll talk about more in a second, you can see the exposed lighting on the vents down here all around, and then also right here at the end in the kind of like screw section on there. And down here in the pommel section, I really love the kind of more smooth metal, but still very worn and finished, and then your kind of D-ring section down here, where again, if you're cosplaying or taking this with you to Galaxy's Edge or to do some spinning with, you can just pop onto your belt clip and you are good to go. Honestly, I am in love with this hilt, you guys. It is, again, I know I keep saying this every time I get a new saber, it's one of my favorites. I adore it. And what's great about buying these sabers together is you get 2 individual hilts if you want them, or, which I'm going to show you in a second, you can put both of them together and have a beautiful double-bladed lightsaber. Now to get the blade in for your Cal Kestis hilt, once you get it inserted, where those lights were emitting before on both sides, that's actually where your screws are going to go in. So unfortunately, when the saber is put together, you're not going to see those lights coming through, but if you are having it like on a stand on display, you'll be able to see it then. Another thing to notice is you're going to have 2 different size screws in your box. These smaller screws are actually going to be for the Cal Kestis hilt, and you'll also have a smaller Allen wrench that you can use to insert them. To put your 2 hilts together, you're going to need the adapter that comes in the case, and then you're going to need to take apart your handles just a little bit. And this will be actually how you access your chassis for charging or installing fonts as well. So on your Cal Kestis side, you're not going to want to unscrew the pommel. It does come off, but to access it, you're going to want to unscrew the entire handle from here. And once you get that off, you can just set this on the side. It'll expose your chassis. What's really neat, the batteries are in here, but you're going to have USB charging, which is great. Once you get that off, you can go ahead and grab your adapter, and you're going to see 2 different ends to it. The end that has the more, like the black part on the end, is going to go towards the top of the emitter of the Cal side, and you can go ahead and just screw that on. On your Cere side, it will unscrew from a couple different spots as well. What you're going to want to do though is completely take off this entire end and unscrew it from the top here too. Again, once you get that off, you can set it to the side. This will be how you get to your chassis. You'll have your USB charging as well. You can grab the handle and pull it out if you need to get in there for any installation. And then that is just going to insert into here, and you can then go ahead and screw both of them together. Accidentally hit some character fonts and turn it on the way, you know? And then you will have both of them together. Now, what's really cool is once both hilts are together, you will be able to turn both of them on simultaneously just with a rotation. And that turns on both of your ignitions. I love that because then you don't have to like deal with turning each one on individually. Now with the adapter on, you're gonna have this very kind of clean look. This isn't exactly film or game accurate here, but it does look really nice. You're gonna have your kind of holes in here, which is gonna be your speaker emitter on there. So it gets a little duller when your hand's over it, but it still sounds really good and clear. It is a little louder without your hand there, but still really nice. But this is where we can use that cool leather wrap again if you really wanted to. So again, when both of these are put together in the game, you kind of have this leather wrap on it, and you can use this one that comes in it and wrap it around and get a really beautiful look for this lightsaber. And honestly, I think this is gonna be the way I display it. It does come with some double-sided tape, but I think maybe like cement glue and gluing it down a little bit would look really nice. But that just looks so much better than that black part exposed in the middle. I think I might give myself a little project and kind of get that on there and maybe try to do a little bit of weathering, maybe possibly on the Cere side. But how good does that lightsaber look, you all? Let's go ahead and insert both of our blades so we can take a look at the full double-bladed lightsaber. Here she is, everybody, our Cere and Cal Kestis double-bladed lightsaber. It is really massive, but really cool. I am 5'6", and this thing is quite a bit taller than I am, so it's gonna be a little dangerous to spin in here, but we'll make do. I don't think I'm tall enough to hit the fan, so that's good news. I have both of these set to the same color, and again, what I really love is when you twist to ignite it, both will ignite at the same time. That is such an awesome feature that I haven't seen on any other double-bladed saber that I have owned or reviewed. You have your flash on clash, blaster effects on here. And that smooth swing is absolutely beautiful. Now what's really cool is you can individually adjust both of these sabers. So say you wanted two different colors, maybe you want to have a light side, dark side, because you know, we just can't choose sometimes. You can come over to one saber and go through different character fonts. So now we have our red and blue for our Maul and our Anakin side of the saber. I think that is a very awesome feature to have, and it's neat to just be able to have two different colors. I love this, and it is such a beautiful addition to my collection that I can't wait to take out to Galaxy's Edge and get some awesome photos with, and hopefully do a little project like wrapping this at least, if not also weathering the Cere side. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you get your hands on the saber or want to pick up any other ones from NSabers, make sure to use our code FALCON at checkout to save another 7%. And I will see you guys really soon for another lightsaber review.